Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this Age of Empires 4 build order for the French. It's going to be a French feudal rush, and yep, if you guys know me well, I know what you're thinking. I've joined the dark side. You guys know that I hate playing against the French. You know I hate playing as the French because of that. And I'm going to show you actually why, because this build order is going to be the French feudal rush. And what we do is get our second scout. That's the first thing we do from the town centre. New villages, well, all the villages go to food there underneath the town centre. We want 8 on food, 8 on sheep, that is. And then we're going to send the next 4 villagers to gold. So yeah, join the dark side. But it'll be interesting to see how this pans out in Season 2, especially with the buffs that the French have received for the Royal Institute. I know the Guild Hall is probably quite popular, but and that's why they kind of buffed up the Royal Institute, but you guys have been watching the Road to Red Bull Wallow. The Royal Institute was already kind of a bit nutty in terms of the Imperial Age upgrades in Castle Age, and I just feel like it's going to be super strong now, French. So it makes sense to kind of focus on them a little bit for the second season. So we're going to get 8 on food, and then the next 4 villagers to gold. Start sending the sheep back, actually. We're going to need those sheep. It is what it is. So yeah, just to let you know, if you have access to the PDF versions of my build orders, this will be on the most up-to-date version. If you don't have access to the PDFs and you would like them, then do check out the video description. Of course, you can just note down the builds. It's relatively simple, the French one, actually. So don't feel like you need the PDF versions. But if you're interested in them anyway, you can get access to them. And just take a look. Right, so we're going to get 4 on gold. Kill a sheep there preemptively. Take the sheep back. Just get that one as well. That's in the front of the base there. And I love having 2 scouts. Get so many more sheep and a lot more vision on the map. And the idea here with this build is we're going to get the School of Cavalry, of course. Get those knights out. French Royal Knights. And then follow it up with a very fast archery range and a blacksmith. And then we can kind of consider to go for like a feudal age all in, so not all in, like a good rush. Or you could think about maybe going for the castle age. Of course, there are adaptations, depends what you're up against and whatnot. So we've got 4 villagers on gold. So now we can send the next 2 villagers to wood. That's kind of at this point, actually, I'm going to just group 4 villagers off of food. Because we'll use those 4 villagers to build the School of Cavalry when we can afford it. Let's unqueue some villagers here. Go to the corners of the map, get all those lovely sheep. Of course, let's build that lumber camp there. We're looking good. Okay, let's just force drop off a little bit there. Get the School of Cavalry built. These 4 villagers building the School of Cavalry, they'll go to wood afterwards. So we've got 2 to wood. Now we're going to send the next villagers to food underneath the town centre. We want 10 on food in total. We'll do anything else. I need to force drop off? No, we don't need to actually, just about. Okay, looking good. Now what we need to do is take a villager off of gold to build that mill, and then build a house. Because we will of course get wheelbarrow. That mill is for the wheelbarrow. We're not actually going to be taking berries at this stage, but we may need to transition to berries a little later. That's obviously important to have. We also need to build that house. So mill, house, back to gold. Oh dear, might lose our scout there. Hopefully not. Oh, that's close, that's close, that's close. Oh, we just survived, thankfully. Okay, keep an eye on that. Especially when you're up against the English. Okay, we can get wheelbarrow now. Or almost, actually. A bit short on wood, but we'll be there soon enough. There's the house. Oh, probably just going to force drop off that wood for the wheelbarrow. There we are. Wheelbarrow in. We want 10 on food. Opponent's going up with the council hall. That's kind of expected though. The English. Get our sheep back home there. Let's get ready to queue up some knights, shall we? Grab a knight. Go forward with that knight as soon as possible. New villages. All looking good here. All looking very, very good. So we've got 10 villagers on food now. So we're going to send 1 villager, next villager to gold. Just the 1. To make 5 on gold in total. And then new villagers go to food again. So we want 16 on food, so the next 6 villagers to food. May want to just force drop off a little bit there. Next night. Sometimes you will need to force drop off a little bit if you're impatient like me and don't want to wait a couple of seconds. Don't want any idle time. Absolutely fine. You also need to just get that first archery range there. There we go. Archery range going to be produced as well. As you can see, super fast. We're just going to harass these villagers on gold. We won't be able to do too much damage because just one knight. Ideally, we want two before we can really start doing some damage. But we're just going to hold off not just now. We're just going to build a house, sort out Eco out first. So second knight is out. Going to build that house. Let's just force drop off for that third knight. I'm not really worried about the third knight. We kind of just want mainly two knights to kind of harass. We're going to keep producing, but having constant production after that is not necessarily like a mandatory thing. It would be nice to have, but it is what it is if we don't. And let's go forward. We start trickling in archers as well. We won't afford constant production just to start off with. We will eventually, of course. Oh, we didn't actually get a villager there. There's one. Producing those knights. Just force drop off a little bit there. Okay, 15 villagers on food. Go to the berries then. As you can see, we're producing very nicely. Now we've got 16 villagers on food almost. We're actually gonna go ahead and then go straight over to wood. Just kind of, we want up to 10 villagers on wood at least. Don't forget to build a house. Okay, we'll start to dive. We want to look at the wood line really, because that's the thing that the English will rely on the most. Also got lots of juicy villager picks there. Build another house as well. When we get the chance. Keep up with the night production. So at this point we want 16 on food, 10 on wood. And then we'll start transitioning to gold again. So charge attack. Pull the build. Nice. Alright, so that's the build, guys. Essentially, what you want to do from here is you want to get the blacksmith. So once we get 10 villagers on wood, we're going to drop a blacksmith. Once we've got 10 villagers on wood, we then start transitioning to villagers on gold. We want 10 on gold. And then after that, we can actually get our upgrades in terms of double broad axe. And then even look to get to the castle age, because we're going to then, after 10 on gold, we're going to send all new villagers to a food resource. Most likely the berries at this point, because we're probably going to be running out of sheep around about now. So another 5 to gold, and then the next villagers essentially to food. Pretty much indefinitely, and we'll work our way up to the castle age and just constantly pressure. Obviously I'm not pressuring as hard as we possibly could be in the feudal age here. We can often even think about going for a feudal age rush if you want to in terms of rams, once you've got the blacksmith up. It's quite important to get the blacksmith up pretty soon if you can, because what that will do is that will give you bloomery for free on your knights. So guys, hope you enjoyed this build order tutorial, and if you did, do give the video a thumbs up. Take care, and see you next time.